Hi, welcome to Yarn Lane. I'm Wendy Gardner, and for this hour I am joined by Katharine Wright, who a lot of you will know. Now, she's been with us twice more today doing sewing, but now she's changed hats and she's got her knitting hat on and she's doing some knitting for us, and she's actually wearing one of the garments. In fact, you're wearing the first one, aren't you? That's it. Model it nicely.
I am.
And she's threatening not to take it off.
I like
She
this
rather
one
likes
so
it.
much.
It is so lovely. It's a lovely design, isn't it? And
It
I've
is.
got one behind me here, which is the same design in the blue. Now, if you want to shop with us today, you can call the call centre on 0800 4700 600. Or you can shop on the website. So it's the same login details as Sewing Street. It's the same P&P. So if you've already your P&P is already covered. It's the same layout. So if you click on Watch Live and then you scroll down, and you can see everything that's there on pre-order. So you don't have to wait for us to get to them. There are a lot, and we're going to try and get all through the whole lot. But just do be aware there's probably things on there that we can't get to mention, like needles, etc., tools and things. So do take a look for those as well, because they're there. If you have any questions, we are live on Facebook, and I have the iPad with me here. So that is going to be good. So I will be able to keep an eye and say hello to you if you have any questions. If you have any technical questions for Katharine, please ask. She will be happy to answer. I'm saying that for you, but you don't mind, do you?
Of course not, no.
She knows these particular patterns that we've got today really well. So if you have a question about any of these patterns, please do ask her. But let's get started. The first one we have is this Longline Jacket. So we're going to start with the storm blue colour, which is the colour behind me. So this one, the last time we had it on, it completely sold out. I'm not surprised, actually. Look at this colour. We've managed to get it back in stock for you, but we don't have the amount we had last time. So if you want it, then do be quick, because you don't want it to go. Now, for $19.99, you get nine balls of wool. Wow. And they're 100 gram. It's Mariner yarn, which is 100% acrylic, and it's a double knitting yarn. So that means it's lovely and comfy to wear, but it's also good for wash and care, isn't it? And it's 100% acrylic. So I like that. It feels lovely. Personally, I can't wear pure wool. I find it too
itchy.
scratchy and itchy.
Yeah.
So I love acrylic, I really do. So it's lovely to work with, and you get 9 balls for $19.99, and you get the pattern, which is very detailed on how to make it. And this is to fit, it says to fit dress sizes 10 to 20. But do check the bust sizes, because I always think it's more important to check the bust size. Ignore the dress size, because what's one dress size in one shop is not the same as in another shop, is not the same as a pattern. What you need to do is look at your bust size, and you have got this in inches and centimetres. Inches is much better, because centimetres sounds far too big, but if you're making a 14, what you're looking at is a 36-inch bust. So look at that first. Don't look at the 14, look at the bust size, go by that. It also has the actual measurements as well. So if there's some ease in it, so when in dressmaking we have ease and wearing ease and designer ease, and in knitting as well, it'll be a bit bigger than it won't sort of fit you snugly on the bust, and that's the whole point, so that you've got room for movement. Now this is 100% acrylic, which means you can wash it at 40 degrees. Very, very wearable, very comfortable, it feels lovely and soft and comfy, doesn't it?
It really is.
Not included in the kit are 3.2 and 4mm knitting needles. Do you need a cable needle as well? Because on the instruction you do need a cable needle as well. So do look on the website, because some of these needles are available on the website if you don't already have them at home. That's the storm blue colour. We also have it in grey, so this is a soft grey, so it's a silver grey. So again, don't forget, I'm only showing you 1 ball, but you will actually get 9 balls of this. So it's 100% acrylic, it's exactly the same, 100% acrylic, double knitting, makes it washable, makes it affordable, because it's only $19.99 to make this whole garment. That's really lovely. So that's in the grey. We also have it in cream. I'm waiting to hear which one she wants me to go to. So we have it in cream here. This is lovely. This is a new colour. This is a nice colour for spring and summer, isn't it? When it gets cold in the evening and you still need to put a cardi on.
Which is most of the year round.
Which is most of the year round in our
really.
country, yes. You don't want to put a coat sometimes.
You don't,
I mean,
no.
even not the last few days because they've been colder, but sort of last week when it was warmer and I was going for a walk, it was difficult to know what to wear because a coat was actually too much.
Yes.
You know, it was just
no,
too
a
warm.
cardi's perfect.
So a nice cardi like this is lovely. And even going, if we can go on holiday any time this year, even when you're going away, sometimes you want a warm cardi for the evenings. So this is lovely. And I like the fact this cream because I think it makes it more summery, even though it's still a nice warm cardi. So don't forget, you get 9 balls of yarn of this, so 9 and the pattern to make it, and it's all for $19.99. And then finally, our final colourway is this navy. This is a lovely blue. It's a sort of light navy, really. It's a bright navy. I think it's really lovely because sometimes navy can be almost black, can't it? But this isn't. This is definitely blue, so it's really nice. Again, 9 balls, 100 grams each, so you need 900 grams. Double knitting. This is 100% acrylic, so it's easy to wash, wear and care for. Really lovely. $19.99 for all of that. 9 balls. So you're going to do a quick demo for this one.
Yes.
You've done this one before, so rather than demo a particular technique, 26th of March was the last time.
It was only a couple of weeks ago, I
Oh
think.
yes, so you can watch that back as well if you want to see a bit more, because you're going to do something different, aren't you, this time?
Yes, I was just going to talk to everybody about a tension square, which quite often you don't do because you just want to get on with knitting. But I did think, do you know what? It was only 2 weeks since I showed you how to do the faux cable bit. So I'll do the tension square and see actually if my tension is right or if I should use different needles. And it tells you at the start of your pattern what your tension square should be. So it's 27, you put 27 stitches on your needle and you knit 31 rows in the pattern. So you can see that's what I've done there. You can even see on the bottom of my pattern there, I've done a little tally chart to count my rows while I was watching telly. And then at this point, when you've done that, you measure it. And it says it wants to be slightly stretched. And it should be 10 centimetres wide. And I am about 10 centimetres. So,
did you check before you came? Did you check?
I did actually.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to know if I wasn't, well, I'd tell you what to do, you see, or what I should be doing. So yeah, I am 10 centimetres, so that's fine. And I could go ahead and I could knit the whole cardigan on the 4mm needles and it's 3¼ mil for your rib, as it suggests. However, if you measure it and it's too tight and you need more stitches, then you need a larger size needle. If it's too loose and it's big, you need a smaller size needle so that it comes out at the right size for you, because you don't want to knit this and think that it's coming out at a 36-inch bust, for example, but if you've got a very tight tension, it actually comes out too small. So if you check this at the beginning, then it will come out as it's supposed to come out. So it is an important thing to do.
Yeah.
It's a bit like when you dressmake, you've got to measure yourself before you start the pattern to make sure you're cutting out
when
the
you're
right
making
size.
anything for yourself, whether it's knitting, crochet or dressmaking, you don't get to try it on until it's done.
No.
So if you haven't done that little check at the first place, it could be terribly disappointing.
And to be fair, it didn't actually take me very long to knit the tension square at all.
Gives you a practice of the technique.
Gives you a
too,
practice of the technique, because halfway up I had a little go at the faux cable. And do you know what? It's such a lovely pattern, and you put pockets in it. So how you do that bit is you actually knit your pocket lining separately, just in the rib. And then when you come to knit your front, your pocket lining you've left on a stitch holder. When you come to knit your front, when you get to the pocket part, you knit that lining in, knit up the front of the pocket, and then you just slip stitch the back of the lining in place at the end. They're great pockets.
How do you stop knitting the front of the pocket, the top of the pocket, and then go back to knitting sort of inside? Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, and I
the
read this.
instructions are all in there, I'm sure.
I did read what I read this the other night, so that I could tell you all.
Sorry, I've just put you on the spot there. People have asked us, we don't have the colourway you're demoing, because that was one of the old ones.
It's very similar to the grey that you've got there.
It is similar to
very
this one,
similar,
isn't it?
Yes.
So it is similar to this one
I believe this one had a bit of wool in it, whereas that one is
this is
acrylic,
100%.
but it is very
and it is
similar.
nice because it's not. It doesn't look like it's a solid grey. It's sort of got flecks in it almost. So it's sort of it's really nice.
It's a super pattern, and I mean the pockets. These are, you can chuck your car keys. This is like a put it on when you run out of the house and you put your car keys in it and you put your phone in that one.
Yes.
And you don't need a jacket.
It's lovely. It really is lovely.
I'll tell you who made this one. This was Margaret Chapman.
Oh, thank you, Margaret, because it's lovely.
I really want to take this one home with me.
She might just forget to take it off. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So the silver, we've got less than 10 available actually. So if you do want this silver, which would be very similar to the one that Katharine is wearing, so it's very similar in colour, and it is gorgeous. That goes with everything, doesn't it?
It does. I like grey. A grey cardie does go with everything.
But we have got less than 10 available. So if you do want it, that's the graphic at the moment, so go for it now. The storm grey, the storm blue, I think that's blue. Grey, blue. That one, again, very, very popular. We have just 7 left. So if you want this, because you need 9 balls, you see, so you get 9 balls. So we've only got 7 left. This is very popular. Again, because we've got the example behind me here, I haven't put it on, not because I don't want to wear it, because it's on skinny bean there. I don't think it would stretch around my bust. That's why I haven't put it on. I would otherwise, because it's really lovely. And don't forget, the 2 new colourways are the cream and the navy. So we'll start with the cream. So here's the cream. So this is lovely. This is a lovely summery colour, because you can, although you can wear white in winter too, actually, can't you?
Absolutely.
But I think it's sort of doesn't matter what season it is.
It'll look a bit
really
like an Aran cardigan in that, because it's sort of a faux cable that you're making.
Yes, I love that design. I like the way it's sort of pinched together. And then you have the blue. This is this lovely navy. It's a bright navy, very pretty. All of them are 100% acrylic, which means you can wash them at 40 degrees. It's standard washing. And you don't have to block out or anything because it's acrylic, do you?
No.
Yeah. So you can, something like this, $19.99, you can wear this all year round, and it's going to be your go-to cardie when you want to snuggle up. Absolutely lovely. So there are 2 new colours. So next we're going to do, we want to got a lot to go through, so we're going to push that one aside. Still available, look on the website if you want it. But now we're going for the swing jacket. So this is it. So here it's been done in a multicoloured on the pattern, but this is what you get, and we have it behind Katharine in a brilliant red. But what we have for today is this lovely, it's a lovely sort of lilac, deep lilac, soft purple. Again, you get 6 balls of this one, because this is how many you need. So you get 6 balls of this, and again, it's 100 grams and it's 100% acrylic. So you get the 6 balls. Is this the one that's for children as well? Yes. So this is the one that you can make. You could be mother and me if you wanted to. So it goes from bust size 22-inch up to 42-inch. So the 42-inch one, you have enough with your 6 balls. We've got enough there. If you're making for the child only and you're a skinny bean, you might even be able to make one for yourself as well, after the same one. Can't guarantee it though, just saying. They do suggest a 30-degree wash, but it's very wash and wearable, and nowadays we can do a lot of our washing at 30 degrees. Nice simple instructions all the way through how to make it. As I said, they've done it in a variegated. Now it has got some sort of interesting little lace detail, which we're going to look at in a minute, but let's look at the other colourways. So we have this lovely sort of lilac. We then have this blue, sort of really sky blue. This is a really pretty blue here. It's so soft, it feels so lovely. It's really vibrant. This is your favourite colour blue, is it, Elliot? Your bestest. So we get 6 balls of this one. And again, it's the 100% acrylic. So it's nice and easy care. And then finally, we have this sort of a deep orange rust colour. Oh, okay, so if you want this, grab it now. We've got 3 kits left, 3 only of this colourway. So we are restocking our favourite ones. So this is just a few of these left. It is a beautiful, it's like a burnt orange. It's really lovely colour. You get your 6 balls and your pattern with this. So it's really, really handy to have. And it's the cardigan that is behind Katharine at the moment. You're just going to see that in just one sec. Smile, Katharine. Here's that cardigan. So it's really lovely. It's a nice shape because it's a swing cardigan, so it swings. But yes, very nice. So you said that there's a bit of lace pattern in this, so that's the bit you're going to show us.
There is. There, just up the front, can you see there's just that really pretty little detail going up. I'll tell you what I like about this cardigan, Wendy. It's got 3/4 length sleeves. I love a quarter.
No, you see, I don't.
Do you not?
No.
Everything I wear, I do this with.
Oh, do you?
So it's perfect. Perfect.
Oh, I get cold wrists, and mine have got 3/4 length sleeves, and I have to keep pulling them down. I do.
However, if you didn't like it, you could always make
could
them
make
a bit
them
longer,
longer,
couldn't
couldn't
you? Yes, you could. So I have cast on for a left front, and now it's interesting this, it doesn't have a rib bottom because you've got this swingy effect. What you do is you actually do 5 rows of stocking stitch, and then you do a row of knit on the wrong side, and then it folds up and just, it's like a little folded hem, just stitches. So you get that little weight of a hem that holds it nice and flat, but it's not a rib.
Interesting.
So it doesn't cling to you, you get that swing effect. So I've done that little bit. You can see where my line is for where I would fold that up, and then I've started the pattern. Now don't get distracted that I've got totally different yarn to all the ones that are for sale. That's because we don't necessarily want to open a new ball of yarn for every little demo that I do. So it's what's in the Mariner stash that I have at home, which is getting increasingly big.
Of all your little bits.
It is. So we've got a 4-row pattern, of which 3 of them are purl knit purl. So it's only 1 row that's slightly tricky, where you make your little lacy holes. So when you've done your folded hem part, you count in and place a marker. You can see I've got my stitch marker in there, and then to start the pattern you knit to within 3 stitches of that marker. So whatever size it is, doesn't matter what size you're doing, you just knit along until you get close to that marker, and that's going to keep it all in a nice straight line for you. As you knit, you'll be able to see where you're supposed to be going. So we'll just knit up to that. Okay, and then to make the little lacy holes, you slip a stitch, you knit a stitch, and then you pass the slip stitch over the top. Then you put your yarn to the front, knit 2, then I knit 2 together and knit to the end. It's as simple as that. And it's the little passing the slip stitch over, it's the yarn forward and the knit 2 together that make the little holes. And when you purl back across the reverse row, then you'll see those holes take shape.
It's a nice little detail though, doesn't it?
It's a nice little detail, and it just makes it a bit lighter and just a bit more interesting than a basic stocking stitch cardigan, doesn't it?
It does, and I think actually, although they've shown the cardigan on the pattern in this sort of variegated one, I think it looks better in the plain because you can see that detail better.
Yes, I agree.
So I like it in the plain, but obviously that's up to people. But we're selling these 3 different colourways.
I like the purple and the blue.
I
actually.
I actually like all 3. I must say. I think I'm with Elliot actually. I think for me actually this one. This is the graphic at the moment. We've got 5 left of this, so we really are running short.
So everybody else.
You get 6 balls of these for $14.99, which is enough to make this swing cardigan, and it's enough to make the largest size. So don't worry about that. But they do have the sizes go from 22 busts, which in other words a child, up to 42-inch busts. So it's really good. And again, it tells you the actual measurements too, so you can see how much ease there is in that. So that's really nice.
So just as I come back along, you can see that the little hole has been knitted across. I've purled across there, and then you can see that's formed the little hole. Then you do a knit row and a purl row, and then you're back to your little pattern row. So it's one of those knits you're not going to have to concentrate too hard about. You can sit and do it in front of the telly, which I think a lot of people who knit do.
Yes, definitely. My mother-in-law definitely does. Very avid knitter, really good at it.
Yeah, knitting's one of those things you can do without looking at it, so you can watch the telly at the same time. And this is one that it's not so complicated that you're going to have to keep referring back to the pattern all the time to see where you are. So that's a good one.
It is a good one, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's available in the 3 colourways. This lovely sky blue, which we've got very little left of. And we also do it in the purple. So this is the process. It's nice. It's difficult to say which is to use. This would look lovely. It would look lovely, Kat, with an all black outfit, definitely. This would look lovely. And then finally we have in this sort of burnt orange, which is a really lovely colour. So we're now going to move on to the next one. Oh, I think this was my favourite garment or thing for today. Yes. We're going to start with the Jade because this is my favourite colour of the 3. Where's we got? Oh, that's behind me. That's the shawl behind me on this side. That's really lovely. That's perfect, I think. We're talking about being out about more. Just throw that over your shoulders in the evening as it's getting chilly. And that's really lovely. And I should imagine quite quick to make because it's in super chunky yarn. Am I right?
Yes, which is what's so great about it.
Yeah. Woman after my own heart there. I like it to be quick to make. So starting with the lovely Jade green, it's $9.99 and you get 4 balls this time. We've only got 1 here to show you purely because otherwise I'd be surrounded by a mountain of balls. You wouldn't be able to see me. Not that that necessarily is a bad thing, but you know what I mean. So we've just got the 1 to show you, but you get 4 in your pack. So 4 for $9.99, which makes them very cheap, sort of $2.50 a ball, very affordable. And they are, again, 100% acrylic. You've got the washing instructions on the back here, so again, you can wash them. Really lovely. You do obviously need to get, so you get the pattern, which is nice and clear. So you get the pattern on how to make it, but you do need your needles as well. What size needles do we need for this one? 12 millimetre, oh yes, it says here, 12 millimetre needles. So do, look out if you haven't got them. Have we got those on the website? We have. So if you haven't got those at home, then you need to get those as well, and you can find them on the website. It is a nice big shawl, and it's shaped. I'm going to grab it because I like the fact it's shaped. It's not just a rectangle. I'd put it on, except for I really don't need it. You see what I mean? Look at that shape. Isn't that gorgeous? That really is lovely. Lovely in that jade green, or the navy, or the grey. That is lovely. So I'll pop it. Sorry to undress you like that. Very rude of me. So the next we're going to look at the navy. So this, again, you get 4 balls of the navy and your pattern. So that's the pattern there and the 4 balls. So again, it's exactly the same, 100% acrylic. It's lovely and soft. It's super, super soft, and it's a super chunky yarn, which means it knits up quick. I like that. Oh, okay, so Kat told me that super chunky yarn is the epitome of comfort and luxury. And the fact that it's washable and wearable, I think, is really nice. Yes. That makes it special, doesn't it? So this is really lovely. This is this sort of navy blue. And then we also, don't forget you get the instructions, and then we have the grey. So again, this grey here, super chunky, it goes with everything. It's similar grey to what you're wearing, isn't it? Similar colour to what you're wearing. Whether you're wearing it in an evening or you just to take the dog for a walk, it's a bit fancy for taking a dog to walk. You could wrap it around you. It is lovely. I think it's one of the things you kind of throw on in the evening when you've got your finery on And you don't want to
You're going
cover
out
up with the
again,
coat.
aren't you, Wendy?
I'm just in the garden at the moment. I'm not going any further than the garden. That's all I can imagine. I haven't booked any restaurants or anything.
No, me neither.
I mean, I want to, but I haven't yet. But by the time I get round to it, it's going to be too late, isn't it? So yeah, so you need to make one of these so you can wear it when you go out.
I do. I do. I have to say, out of all the Mariner patterns I've demoed since Yarn Lane started, and I've demoed a lot, this is the one that I particularly think, do you know what, I need to find time to make that. I would really wear that,
yes.
well, apart from this cardigan, obviously. But I would wear that loads, actually.
Yes,
I love a
absolutely.
scar and a shawl, and it is a fantastic quick make, and it's so
That's what I
lovely
like
and
about
soft
it,
and,
really.
yeah.
So there are 3 colourways. You get 4 balls each time. So the graphics are for this one, the Jade one. That's the one we've got on the graphics at the moment. And you get the 4 balls with that. And you're going to demonstrate something on this one?
Yes, I'm just going to start at the beginning and go through some of the sort of increasing. So to get that shape part, you start at one of the corners. And so the first 38 rows are just increasing to get the shape. But you've got to get your pattern in as well. So each row you have got to pay attention to what you're doing on this one as you get going. But I quite like it when you've got a bit of a pattern because it keeps it interesting, actually. You know, it's nice to have the knitting, which you don't have to think about, but it is quite nice to have things sometimes that are a little bit of a challenge and you've got to concentrate on. It's good to have a bit of both.
Oh, it is,
I say have
definitely.
multiple projects on the go.
Absolutely.
That's what I do.
But how many are UFOs?
Oh, way too many, Wendy, way too many.
We all have.
I'm a devil for not finishing
I've got
things.
a box of these. I'm absolutely the same. I actually had a dress cut out, ready to make, which I did get rid of recently because it was a maternity dress, and my son is 27 this year. That's probably taken it a bit far.
Although you should have finished it off and given it to Vicky, shouldn't you?
I should have done it. Probably. It was lovely fabric as well. It was Liberty fabric. Just never got round to making it.
Okay, so we start off by just casting on 2 stitches. So that's nice and easy for starters. And we're going to increase into the first stitch. So when you're increasing, you knit into the first and then you knit into the back of the stitch as well. Okay, so now we've got 3 stitches. So I like this, it grows fast. So all of a sudden you're getting lots of stitches and it starts to grow quite fast. So our 3rd row we're going to knit 2 and we're going to increase in the last one. So we knit in the front and then before we pull it off we're going to go round and we're going to do another stitch in the back like that.
So these are really big fat needles, aren't they?
They are, which, yeah, they're nice. They feel quite nice. And I mean, if you haven't got a pair of nice big chunky knitting needles, you've got to think with knitting needles, once you've got them, they're going to work on every super chunky that you've got because it tends to be that double knit uses a 4 and super chunky is going to use a 12. So, you know, if you've got...
So they're handy to have.
And you don't throw knitting needles away,
No,
do you? They don't break. They
not.
last forever. So
they're nice ones too. It's nice to have good needles, isn't it?
it is. Right, where am I at?
Sorry,
It's all right.
interrupted you. Just want to see what I can make you go wrong with this time.
Do you know what? It's quite hard on these knitting ones because you do have to sometimes follow what you're doing, and I always lose count because you can't. There's a lot of counting in knitting and crochet sometimes, isn't there? Yes.
So, as a beginner, would you recommend starting with a chunky knit? Not necessarily this design, you said it's slightly more complicated, but would you start with a chunky? I mean, personally, I would say that the answer to that, for me, is yes, because
I think so.
I can knit, but it is knitting is slow compared to dressmaking. So chunky, yeah, brilliant.
It's nice because it grows quickly.
Grows, yes.
So yes, I would say if you're a beginner and want to do something quite quickly, then yeah, go with a super chunky or a chunky because it's going to grow nice and fast. Also, you can really see what you're doing. You can see with that, you can see my individual stitches much more easily if you need to count things than if it's very fine, I think. I've totally lost where I am. This always happens. Oh, I know. It's because it goes 5th and then it goes 7th, but that's because it's told me earlier what my even ones are. That's what it is. And I'm actually on row 6. So if I go, just take that back a minute, then we'll be okay.
It is quite easy,
and it's
to
easy
go back a little bit,
It's quite
isn't
easy
it?
to undo on this because, again, you can see your stitches quite easily. What you don't want to be doing is taking it off your needles and just pulling it.
Oh, right, okay.
To undo.
No, take it off one by one.
Yeah. So so when I took that off before, when I'd gone wrong, I just like hooked it under the loop underneath, and then you can pull it back like that. Often, especially if you've got a lot of stitches, if you say with something like this, Wendy, where I've got a lot or more and it's finer, if I do that and then I undo, it's quite hard to get them all picked up again. It's really easy to miss one, or for one to drop lower, and so suddenly you're in a bit of trouble.
Do you want me to sit and put those back on?
No,
You're not going to
fine.
need that again.
I don't think we're going to do that one again, are we?
I'd have to put my glasses on, and I'm not sure which glasses I'd know. I'd need my close-up glasses. So yeah, I love the fact that it's growing so quickly, and you can see, as you say, all the stitching.
So when we get to row 7, we actually start to put our little bit of pattern in, and very similar to what we were doing on the last one. I'm going to knit 2 together, yarn forward. That's going to make our first sort of little lacy hole, because we've got lacy holes on this one as well.
So that's how you make lacy holes then, yarn forward.
Yeah, so there's 2 ways. You either do where you do slip 1, knit 1 and pass your slip stitch over, or you do it where you've got your yarn forward and you knit 2 together. It depends, it usually depends on what bit of your pattern you're at, whichever way they tell you to do it.
Okay, but it's all clear in the instructions.
It's really clear. It's literally row by row, and everything's abbreviated on a knitting pattern, but if you're not sure what it means, you have a little glossary, so it tells you. So YFWD, I know is yarn forward, but it says here, you've got it in the thing, yarn forward, so you can always go back and check that. If you just suddenly think, forgot what to do, it tells you. K2 tog, knit 2 together. So once you've done it a little bit, you
and I suppose because
again,
it's
much like in dressmaking, you learn the abbreviations.
Yes, exactly,
yeah, and the terminology, and absolutely, you're getting similar things going all the way through. Yes,
jolly good.
Okay, I don't know where I'm up to again. I'm on an even row. I'm going to tell you a really good story while I'm doing this, Ray. My mum, we went to see my mum and dad on Good Friday. We had a fire pit party outside. It was brilliant. We were in our woolly hats toasting marshmallows. But my mum got out. She's found all the old knitting and dressmaking patterns from when I was a child. And it was fantastic. So I was looking through them all going, I remember wearing that one. I remember I loved that one. So I'm going to take them all.
When did you start knitting then?
Oh, Mum taught me to knit when I was about 7. And actually, we found the pattern. The first thing I knitted was an egg cosy for my gramps. And the pattern was in there in her box of tricks.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it was great.
It's really nice to see. Yeah, it's funny because my mum taught me to sew, and now I teach her.
Yeah, we've done a little bit of a reversal.
Yeah.
Yes, Mum taught me loads of stuff.
It's not that Mum doesn't. I was going to say, it's not that Mum doesn't know a lot. Of course, she does. It's just that the way she was taught and the way she sewed is quite sort of old-fashioned compared to how we do things now.
And don't you think we've got so many more? We've got so many more products,
so many more products, better sewing machines, better gadgets, better tools.
Absolutely.
Yeah, much better range of fabric.
Yeah.
So yes, there are a lot of methods that you can use now that she didn't have at her fingertips.
Which just shows how really good they were at doing everything.
Yes. Yeah. And yes, when being a housewife was considered to be sort of a stay at home and not, but that was a real job. I mean, it still is now if you're looking after little ones. But back in the day when you didn't have automatic washing machines and tumble dryers and you didn't have the steam irons that we have now, it was a real job, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
You're glad you live now, are you? Back in the day, before computers.
So if you just have a little look, you can start to see the little holes coming, and up the pattern you've got the holes, there's like a little ridge that goes along next to it, so you can just see that starting to form along there as I make it wider.
Yeah, so you're increasing as well at the same time as adding your
on
pattern.
the end of every row, it tells you to increase. So by the end of this first section, you're up. So you start with 2. By the end of this first section, you're up to 30 stitches, and then you go straight, just continuing the pattern along until it's the length that you need it to be. So it gives you that shaping that you showed at the start, because you make 2 pieces. You make a right side and a left side, and then they get joined together, so you get that nice V shape at the front.
That's what gives you that shaping.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lovely pattern, this.
The jade green is the most popular at the moment. We've got less than 10. So if you're interested in the jade green, it's the graphic that's there at the moment. So it's £9.99. You get 4 balls and the pattern. And this would be, I know how long it takes is dependent on how fast you knit and everything, but roughly speaking,
I don't think this would take, if you're, it wouldn't take you very long at all. It really wouldn't.
Is it an evening or a couple of evenings?
A bit longer than that. Maybe a couple of evenings per side.
Yeah.
Depending how much you can do. I can't knit a lot at any one time because I've got carpal tunnel, but I'd enjoy doing a few rows a night because it grows really fast, so it would make me feel like I'd made
but you're
loads
actually
of progress.
achieving something.
Yeah.
So, yes, Kat's just saying that she doesn't know many places you could buy a shawl that is so beautiful and unique for £9.99.
Oh no, it's absolutely
It's
bargain.
beautiful. It is a bargain.
And this colour
you do
is
have to make it
gorgeous.
yourself, but this colour is gorgeous. But as is the blue. I mean, I like navy blue as well. That's really nice. So that's the navy blue. £9.99. You get the 4 balls and the instructions. And of course, we also have the grey. If you want a more staple, classic colour, we have the grey. All in this lovely, super chunky, super soft yarn. Really pretty. Marin is a good quality yarn, very well known, 100% acrylic, so it's really beautiful. That's a really lovely one. Next, we're going to move on to the cream jumper, which is behind Katharine. It's behind you. So we have this. We'll start it in the cream. Okay. You need 800 grams of wool for this one. So you get 8 balls of cream and of course the pattern. And this is an Aran. And inside here you've got all of the instructions. This is from 30-inch or 76 centimetres, and then larger sizes too. And you've got the measurements here. So you've got a 30-inch, that's quite small, isn't it? Do you know what size is the one that's there? Do you know?
I don't, but I know Rebecca wore it when we did it before and it was massive on her.
That does look really comfy and slouchy, doesn't it?
It's lovely because it's a nice long length actually.
Yes,
it's
going to
keep the bottom warm.
Yeah. So if you want to wear leggings or trackies or something, snuggle up at home in that. That's a film night beckoning, I think. So this goes from bust size 30 inches to 40 inches, this pattern. And again, all nice and neatly written out so you can follow it easily. Would you say intermediate you need to, or would your beginner have a go at this?
I think if you fancy a go at cabling, it's not too bad, really. I'm gonna show you a little bit of how to do your cabling.
So you think
maybe not an absolute complete beginner who's not picked up the needles before, but if you know the basic stitches, then definitely have a go.
You can have a go.
Yeah,
that's good. So you get how many balls did we get of this? 8. 8. So you need 80 grams altogether. 800 grams altogether. So you get 8 balls. This is 100% acrylic again, so it's the same as the other ones, but it is an Aran weight. So this is an Aran weight. So this is the cream bundle, £17.99. We also then have the blush pink. This time you only get 2 balls because they're super sized balls. Look at the size. Look at the difference in these 2 balls. This is a super sized ball. So this is 80% acrylic, 20% wool, as it says on the top here. It's got wool in it. So that is worth knowing that it's got the wool. So this is a beautiful colour. It's like this sort of dusky pink, isn't it? I think that would look lovely in that that cabling design there. So this is this one. It's $26.99, and you get the 2 balls for here. You can, it's big enough to make the biggest size, by the way, and you can wash it. It's saying here you can wash it at 40 degrees. So it's 80% acrylic, 20% wool. So that is really, so you only get the 2 balls, but they are huge balls. That's why you only need 2, because you need the 800. So it's the same amount altogether. And then we have duck egg. So, we've got less than 5 left of this colour. So if this is a colour for you, pop it into your basket and check out now, because it's not yours until you've checked out. Again, it's 80% acrylic, 20% wool, and you wash it at 40 degrees, so you can still wash it, which is really good. And again, it's a lovely and soft one, and you get 2 of these ginormous balls. So you only need the 2, because you need 800 grams, and each ball has 400 in it. So that's nice and easy. And then the pattern. And blending the wool with the acrylic means you've got a bit of both worlds there. If you like wool, and it's because it's got 80% acrylic, it's still not itchy and scratchy, is it?
It's got the warmth, the extra warmth.
It's got the warmth of the wool,
but it's got the softness of the acrylic.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. So you have got the best of both worlds on that one. So this is for this pattern here, which has got these cables. Are they twisted cables because they go across each other, or are they just called cables?
Well, I think can you just say cabling for a general kind of term?
Yeah.
We've got various little techniques, and some they're calling cables and some they are actually calling twists. So up the side here where it all goes the same way, that's a twist one. And then these where they cross over are cables. Now what you've actually got 3 different panels of pattern. These are, although you knit it all in one, this is one set of instructions, this is one set of instructions, and this is one set of instructions. So it's A, B and C. But you've got that all in your pattern, detailed row by row. All you've got to be careful with when you are doing this, when you start it, is you don't necessarily start at row 1 on each panel, but it does tell you where to start. Right. You've just got to keep track of where you are.
Okay.
So you might be ticking it off as you go along or something, just so that you're making sure you're on the right row for each panel bit. Now on my little demo bit, I've just cast on for panel A, because it shows you the twist and it shows you the cable. And I've done the first 12 rows. So I'm going to show you row 13 because it's got the cable in, and we'll go, and row 15 because it's got the twist in. So that will show you all the different little things that are in the pattern. And again, with this, it's just a case of keeping track row by row so that the stitches come out in the right place and the pattern comes out in the right place. But with a cable, you very quickly, once you've kind of done the first lot, so for example, this panel A is 20 rows of pattern. Once you've done that once, you kind of learn what's happening, and you can very quickly see if you've gone wrong with it, if your cable's not coming in the right place. Bit like earlier with the patchworking, you very quickly realise if something's not going to fit together. So let's have a look.
Saying that, Anne Bird has told us she's made the green shawl great to knit, but she mucked it up and ended up with 2 left sides.
Oh.
So she unravelled and started again and then got it right, which is great. But then she's run out of wool 2 rows before the end. Oh dear. Oh, no. So she's got to get some more green wool, she says.
Oh no.
Oh dear. That's
Can't you just
bad.
make it 2 rows shorter?
Yeah.
On each side?
Then does she have to start again to do that?
Well, you might be able to.
Have it
I don't
on
know.
one side. Oh, that is disappointing, isn't it? Oh well.
That's annoying. Right. So let's have a look. So on our 13th row, we're going to purl 3, and then we're told to C4F. That is cable 4 to the front. Again, we've got a lovely table of abbreviations that tell us exactly what we're going to do. So a cable 4 front. You slip 2 stitches onto your cable needle, and they come at the front of the work. Then you knit 2 stitches from your knitting needles, and then you knit the 2 stitches from your cable needle, and that's creating the little twist. Okay, so hopefully you can see that's just put a little twist in the knitting. Okay, then we're going to purl 3 and knit 1, which gives us that little straight ridge that's going up the front of that panel. That knit 1. Then we're going to purl 4. So on each row, the numbers of purls and knits change every time, so you have just got to keep yourself on track. Knit 2. Then we're going to C4L, which is a cable 4 left. So for this one, we slip 2 stitches onto the cable needle, place it at the front of the work, purl 2 from your left hand needle, and then knit the 2 stitches off the cable needle.
So you knit, not purl them?
Yes. So if it's the actual little cable, you're always knitting those, and then the purl is the gaps in between so that the pattern stands out.
I know lots of knitters watching this will know that, but you know, as a beginner knitter, as I say, I have knitted before, but I am a beginner knitter.
So then we're going to do cable 4 right straight after, so 2 stitches onto the cable needle, and that goes to the back of the work. So it's important that you just make sure that you're doing the right one, whether it goes forwards or whether it goes backwards. Knit 2 off your left hand needle and then purl 2 from the cable needle. But because it's all there, so you can, you know, very quickly just refer to think. You don't have to remember what a C4L is or a C4R, because you can just keep checking. And by the time you've got up the jumper, you'll know. Because it starts to stick in your head.
Yes. Is it something like you have to read something 10 times before it starts sticking?
Is that
there's
right?
Some sort of
I'm only
number.
on about 4 with this then. Okay. Then our 14th row, we go back across as the 8th row. So our reverse rows on the wrong side are always just plain knitting and purling. No cabling on your reverse row. It's just getting the numbers right as the pattern changes. So I'm just making sure, what have I done? Purl 1, knit 5. Then purl 4. And knit 2. I spent my final year at university knitting an amazing Aran cardigan that I've still got.
Really? Well,
Yes,
only a couple
I don't
of years
think I
ago,
did
though.
well, a bit longer, but I don't think I did very much studying, considering it was an English degree.
And have you used it since?
Yes, it's a little bit big for me.
No, not the Aran jumper, the English degree.
Well, I do, because I do, yes, because I've done a lot of writing in previous jobs and things. But I suppose not so much now, perhaps. But I like reading.
Yeah,
I read a lot.
I think it's one of these therapeutic pastimes, I think, knitting. You can just, I love hearing the click of the needles.
I know.
As well.
They do click. They always hit on the table when I do this, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you were at home, you'd be sitting on your lap, wouldn't you?
Now, I'm just seeing the clock there, and I'm wondering, did you want to get onto your last one rather than me show another row?
Let's do that, because we don't want to miss out.
But they all carry on in a very similar way. Because I'm just thinking else you won't have time.
So the original demo of this you can actually watch.
Absolutely.
It was on the 23rd of November, 23rd of November. This one is completely different. This is so cute, which I've just covered up with some different yarns. Have you got a picture of this? This is this beautiful, oh, it's so soft. This is this beautiful blanket. Look at that. So a baby, oh, smells gorgeous too. Don't know if somebody's washed it. Smells lovely. So it's a really beautiful blanket, and I love the edging. It's got like little bobbles on the edge. Are you going to show us how to do those? Oh, it has got a label, so let me say, because this was made for us by somebody. This is made by Carol Walter. So thank you, Carol. It's beautiful and beautifully made. So starting with this, so what do we get in this kit? So of course we get the instructions, and you get 3 balls of whichever colourway you're going for. We're going to start with the white. It's one size pattern, obviously, because it's a blanket. This feels so good. So it's 100 grams per ball, and you get 3. This is it's a chenille double knit, 100% polyester. It is so soft and snuggly, it really is. And the chenille gives it that sort of crimply look to it. It's really lovely. So lovely and soft. So of course, nice and washable, which you definitely need for a baby's blanket. In this pattern, you get 2 techniques. So on the picture, we've got one with bobbles all the way through it. And then we've got this one here, which is the bobbles on the edges. So you've got a choice in there. And you can see it's quite simple because it's just one sheet. It's just one sheet of pattern. So there's you can see the 2 different patterns below there. Apparently Vix is still attempting to make her one. You better get a move on. So she's attempting to make her one. But this is absolutely gorgeous for a baby. It really is. So this is the first colourway, the creamy white. That's the white. Then we have the pink. This is a lovely soft pink. If you're going to be traditional, this is for your little baby girls, but you don't have to be. This is really lovely. So it's a chenille double knit. It feels so soft. It really does. And you get 3 balls of this, and that is $11.99. It's 100% polyester again, so it's washable. And of course you get the instructions, and you can choose which of the 2 blankets you do. The Cob Nut or the Bobble Edge. I love those names, Cob Nut and Bobble Edge. Just reminds me of, what's the guy who, I can't remember
Rowan
his
Atkinson.
name. Yes, you knew I was, it's just like, Bobble Nut. So we have the blue. This is a lovely soft blue. So again, this is a really lovely one. If you're going to be traditional, this is for your little boys, but you don't have to be traditional at all. So you get the 3 balls for $11.99. 100% polyester, really soft and squishy. I wish we had touch television because you would really love the feel of this. It's gorgeous. And then our 4th colourway is the grey. So this is a soft grey. So if you don't know the sex of the baby and you don't want to make it in white, this is a good one. You could make it in this. This is a really lovely soft grey. And it's lovely. And this is the one we've shown the Cob Nut blanket in the picture here. Now, we've run through all the quits. So Catherine's going to do a very quick demo. But if you want to look back on the website and to see anything else that's available, please do. Don't forget the same posted package. Some of them are sold out, but it will say. So yes, do just enjoy this very last demo for the last couple of minutes that we've got left.
Okay, now I have demoed the Bobble Edge blanket before, so if you want to know how to make that, you'll be able to find that. At the time, if you remember, I said I was going to finish knitting it up into a scarf for my daughter, which I have. There it is.
It's lovely.
And she loves it because it's really soft. So I thought I'd very quickly show you how to do one bit in the Cob Nut, because it's ever so easy. It's knits and purls, and there's only one row where you might think, oh, this is a bit funny. So it's the first row of the pattern, and it's where you start off your little bobbly Cob Nut, which it's a lovely pattern as it comes together actually. So we're knitting 4 and purling 7, and then we have to knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, all into the same stitch.
Wow.
So that's the bit I'm going to show you. Can't count to 7 in my head. Okay, so we're going to knit 1, and before we take it off, bring your yarn to the front and purl 1, and then before we take it off, take your yarn back to the back and knit 1 again. So you've made 1 stitch into 3 stitches, and then over the next few rows, in fact next 5 rows, you knit all those stitches including the extra one, and then on the 6th row you then take it back down to the original number of stitches by actually purling 3 together. So after row 6 and row 12 of the pattern, you want to check you've still got the right amount of stitches on there, else your blanket will start to get wobbly,
and that's how you create the bubble.
And your little Cob Nuts will be in the wrong place. So yes, so you increase then you do some normal knitting, and then you decrease and take it back down to the normal number of stitches again, and that's how it makes your little bobble.
Oh.
So it's actually really quite easy. It's just making sure you do that knit one, purl one, knit one, and then just checking that you've got the right number of stitches at the point in the pattern. But it tells you in here, it says, make sure you count after row 6 and row 12 so you've still got the right number.
That's brilliant.
Really nice pattern.
Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed being with you today.
It's been
good
great fun.
And I'm looking forward to doing all again another day.
Absolutely. A couple of weeks, I'll be back.
So Yarn Lane will be back tomorrow with John, and it's going to be lacy weight scarves, which sounds really lovely too. So thank you for watching today. Do watch tomorrow. Don't forget to look at the website, both on Sewing Street and Yarn Lane. You can still order right up until midnight using the same B&P as you've already used. So that's really good. I am back next Wednesday. So I'm back next Wednesday and Thursday. So I will see you all then. But until then, have a lovely weekend, and hopefully you can all get out somewhere and do something exciting. It's getting there, it's getting there. So bye from me, see you soon.